Greetings and salutations, everybody. This is Z the Geek with yet another review for you, and this time we are going to be taking a look at two pairs of Micromaster combiners from 1988. We have two members of the Autobot Astro Squad on the left, and two members of the Decepticon Attack Squad on the right. I think we're going to take a look at the Autobots first, so we're going to move these two out of the way for now. And let's take a look at Phaser, who is very highly detailed for the size that he is. These guys really aren't that big whatsoever, but he's got a nice bit of detail going on there in the legs and in the arms, on the chest. Just a bunch of general sort of vintage, retro futuristic robot detail going on that all of the Transformers of the 1980s had. One of the reasons why they're so iconic and beloved, dare I say. And you also have a really nice head sculpt going on, actually. The face is very distinct, and I really like the double fins that he has going on. So, really not bad for a little guy. Pretty detailed, pretty, it's very immersive. He does, of course, have the entire front end of a shuttle just kind of on his back with the landing gear and nose cone. Very haphazardly slapped to the back, but given how tiny they are and how simplistic the transformations are, I think that's forgivable. And to give you a sense of how small these are, actually, here is a standard 1:64 scale Hot Wheels car in comparison. So yeah, these guys are, they're pretty small. But he's very nice. Phaser is a very good-looking robot. I like him a lot. And now, let's take a look at Blastmaster, who is very much beefcake. Very big, very beefy boy. I love that he has a blue face. I always love it when Transformers have unique colored faces, like blue or green or yellow, orange, whatever it may end up being. I just love when Transformers have non-generic, sort of silvery gray faces. So, points to him for that. And much like Phaser, you can see that he too has a nice bit of detail going on in the chest. I like the sort of wing-ish design that he has going on here with little chest vents, if that is indeed what they are. You can see his fists there, and a bunch of just little sort of whatever lines there on his legs. Now, you heard me mention that I said Micromaster combiners, and that is because the way these worked is these were sets of two robots that combined into one vehicle. They did also do Micromaster 6 combiners later on, so you had characters like 6 Train, 6 Turbo, and they were all like 6 cars that formed into one robot, or 6 trains that turned into one robot, etc. That's not what these are. These are just two robots combining into one vehicle. So we are going to get started with that. We'll transform Blastmaster first. Very simple. You fold the head up into the back, bring the wings down, fold the tail fin up, and then you collapse the legs in on themselves while bringing them up. And there's the shuttle's ass. And then you get Phaser, fold his arms up, let the nose cone fold down, and then same sort of deal with the legs. And you can see each has a peg and peg hole on opposite ends. And there you have a little shuttle. And this thing is actually really cool. We don't get too many space shuttles in Transformers, at least not to my knowledge. We have these guys, we have Astro Train, we have Skylinks. If there are any more, I fail to think of them. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I'm honestly not sure. But yeah, very nice little shuttle, actually. It's a nice size. It feels decent. You do, of course, have the rolling wheels, or at least they would be better rolling if mine wasn't a slightly worn copy, but that's okay. You did see there that the nose cone is unfortunately a bit loose. Okay, well, it's staying now, but sometimes it does just like to do its own thing, but there's a bit of some sort of notch that usually keeps it into place there. But it's okay. It's a very nice shuttle, and it's very, like I said, a very decent size. And we will do another size comparison with yet another die-cast car. So here's Jeff Gordon's Jurassic Park car. And it's about the length of a standard 1:64 scale car, so that's pretty cool. I'm actually going to keep this one on the table for future reference because we're going to need it. But yeah, very nice little team of two. Very nice little shuttle. It's very cute. I like it a lot. I can understand completely why people like Micromasters as much as they do, because they are, just in my mind anyway, incredible little things. The fact that they were able to do so much with such little toys, especially at the time of such limited engineering capabilities and what you could do with toy design, I think it's really nice. I think it's really neat, really nice, and just very cool overall. So that is Phaser and Blastmaster of the Astro Squad from the Autobots. And now we will be taking a look at the Decepticon Attack Squad members. So first up we have Fireshot. And he is much better already solely because of the colors. I love Decepticon colors. I always have. I've always thought the Decepticons have had better color schemes. And it only got better as Transformers went on in the late 80s when they started doing various different shades of like purples and pinks and turquoise and things like that. And you can see that he, much like Blastmaster, has a non-typically colored face, which I really like that. Excuse me for stumbling over my words there. But I really like the color of his face. I think it's really cool. I love the wicked little head fin he has going on. That's pretty cool. And again, nice bit of detail on the sculpting overall. Not quite as nice as the Autobots. He just kind of has a little bit on his chest. Nothing really going on with the legs there, but the head sculpt is cool. It's really well done. What's not really well done, however, is the fact that this guy... Oh, and of course he's going to prove me wrong. Okay, so usually when I try to get this guy to stand up on any flat surface, he just immediately falls over because of how tiny his footprint is. But it seems like he's actually going to cooperate this time, so that's a relief. And now we move on to the second half of this particular duo. See what I mean? We move on to Vanquish, who has a very cool name, and since he is the tail of the vehicle, he also is very chonk. Not quite so chonk as Blastmaster, but I mean, he's up there. He does also lack a bit of detail in the legs. He kind of has little vents on the shins there, and just whatever these are supposed to be, that's nice. He has a good bit of arm detail on the inner section, as well as, I guess, what would be his version of null rays. Another great head sculpt. I love that mask. He has that little, again, retro-futuristic battle mask going on. He does have a sort of typical white painted face, but that's okay. And of course you have the chest detail up here, and a little bit going on in his lower midsection there, just above his crotch. But he actually does stand a hell of a lot better, so you know, that's a plus when you want to display these guys in robot mode. And now we are going to turn them into their combined vehicle. So to do that, all you have to do with this guy is fold the wings down, and the legs will bend in forward, and then bring them, collapse them in on themselves. It's very stiff on my copy. As you can probably see the pins on the wheels and legs and such. They're not in the best condition. I'm not too worried about it, but it is something to just be wary of course. And you can already see that he is the ass end of a SR-71 Blackbird. So suck on that, Revenge of the Fallen Jetfire. These guys did it first, and dare I say, did it better. And then we are going to form the front of the jet by taking the fists, folding them up, bring his head all the way back. You can see there's going to be just a little bit of color showing through there, but that's okay. Nose cone comes down, like so. And he's going to borrow a trick from the Astro Squad Autobots with the way his legs collapse in on themselves. Like that. And then again, same deal as before. Peg, peg, hole. Peg, peg, hole. They meet, they kiss. And here we have a gorgeous, very gorgeous little SR-71 Blackbird. I was not expecting to like this thing as much as I do. I think it is very well made. And I like how much more they well, I mean, if you look at the jet from the top, which is where you would more likely focus your attention to anyway, I love how much more they sort of hide the colors of the robots. You have just that little sliver of bright turquoise there, and then you have the little section of purple there. But that aside, the colors are pretty well hidden in the jet mode, and you even get a little shining gold cockpit, which I think looks absolutely incredible. And there you have your Blackbird once again. Very good looking, pretty clean for the time. About as clean as you can get as a jet former, especially one this small and coming out of the late 1980s. But it's a very nice set, very cool duo. I like it a lot. I like them a lot. If you're looking into getting Micromasters, or if Micromasters have ever piqued your interest, I would highly recommend this guy or these guys. And the same with the Astro Squad, actually. I don't really think, if I had to pick a favorite between the two, I probably would pick the Decepticons just because I'm biased. I've always liked Decepticons more. I've always thought that they were better. I think they're really cool overall. But either way, you definitely cannot go wrong with either set. And there you can see a size comparison there. Once again, bring in Jeff Gordon to do the size comparison with the Blackbird. Yeah, not quite as big as a space shuttle, but that's to be expected, I think. Yeah, so there you have it. There you have two members of the Astro Squad. You have Phaser and Blastmaster there from the Astro Squad Micromaster team. There you have Fireshot and Vanquish from the Decepticon side. Yeah, that's it really. So thank you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, be sure to check back here every now and again. I do plan on making videos more frequently. I definitely want to continue to make videos. I think they're fun. I like doing them. You wouldn't think I enjoyed making this sort of content as much as I say I do because of how little I do, but I promise I'm going to try to make it a more consistent thing. And if you do want to see my other content, you can follow me on Blue Sky and Instagram, where I go by the same name that I do here. That is ZTheGeek99. I post photography on my Instagram and Blue Sky quite a lot. Almost every day, actually. I go out and I take photos of some toys and talk about them a little bit on there. And who knows, maybe they're toys that I'll end up doing future reviews on when I actually feel a bit more confident about reviewing something other than simplistic and small Transformers like Micromasters or Generation 1 Autobot cars. Wait and see. Wait and see. But again, thank you all for watching. This is ZTheGeek99 signing off, and hopefully I will see you next time.